Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn. I have some major messages that came through again today. I actually did a Metatron, Nature Whispers, and Shaman Dreams message of the day from yesterday and from this morning. I actually had a new baby in the family today. My nephew and his wife just had a beautiful little girl, and I did some energy work with that as well today. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, and it's funny because we didn't know what her name was, and I actually wrote her name in my 10-minute video that I posted. Her name came up in that video, so it was very cool week. Okay, let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths before we start. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's nice and sunny. I actually did my meditation for the birth outside on my lawn and got some great visuals. Yeah, it was a very cool experience actually. All right, so I'm just getting hot now as well. So we have the 7-deck read on the table, but first I'm going to do the first 2 messages of the day. Very significant messages, like I said. There's some stuff that's coming through too that's not fully developed yet, but I'm going to work on that as well. The North Star was coming in, as well as Orion, and we'll get into that as I go along. I am going to roll a die first. Today is the 19th of July, 2022. And it was 5:22 on the clock when I started, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, freedom, change, and expansion, and the 22 of the Fool's Journey. 22, of course, was coming up big last time I did a video. And for the Twin Flames today, July 19th, 2022. Okay, we have Mercury over here, and that definitely came through as well today. Mercury, so Mercury is Gemini and Virgo, as well as the 6, which is the Lovers in Gemini. So Gemini twice here, but also 6 is June, so that includes Cancer as well. And then we have Pisces here as well. So there's a lot, so we have 3 of the mutable signs, as well as Cancer coming up here. So lots of messages. The Mercury's the message, you know, a new child is a message as well, right? A new voice to be spoken in the world. And the Lovers, love, family, and community. And Pisces, 1 foot in this world, 1 foot in the next as well. So yeah, a lot of mutable. So those of you who aren't mutable signs may be feeling a little challenged right now because there might be a lot of energy going back and forth. All right, so here is the first message of the day. Is that up right? Yeah. Okay. So we have the 3 decks that I use for this read, which is the Metatron read on top, the Nature's Whispers is the 2nd deck here, and then the Shaman Dreams at the bottom. These are all the underlying energies. I go down a few cards from each deck and the underlying energies for your messages. And then over here, I usually get a pile of cards to count. Not always, but usually. And so that the pile at the end here, wherever I put it, I think I put this one down here, is the number that I had to count. So let's get going with that. So this, I'm going to do the one from yesterday first, and then the one from today. So actually the one from today, and I got interrupted in the middle of it to do the work for my nephew's wife. So, and actually she called me to help her, and I was so happy that she did. So, so again, yesterday was July 18th, so we had the 18 of the moon, which has been coming up a lot, the 18, and then the 31, which is the 5 of wands, which is groups, conflicts, competition, sports, the pursuit of happiness, acting, anything coming together, which requires energy. Let's see here. Yeah. And I finally got to the grocery store yesterday too. All right, so I did this one at 1:07 to 1:11 yesterday afternoon. The 1 is the Magician, the 7 is the Chariot, and 11 is Justice, Truth and Balance and Alignment. And the underlying energy was the card Silver from the Metatron deck. Excuse me. The bottom of the deck was the Love card, which is that aqua mother's heart energy of the aqua rose gold heart. So the sword from the stone, the warrior of light, finding a two-eyed needle in a haystack, the silver union of the moon child and the night, with healthy food and veggies, and remember gratitude and thanks for blessings and variety. The bugle was coming up, the sword, and the pen may be mightier than the sword, but light is even mightier. Thanksgiving every day, and feel the love. The aqua rose gold mother's heart spiraling into relationship and harmony. Remember the feeling of holding your new baby, which I wrote this yesterday before my nephew had their baby. Remember that feeling of holding your new baby, that no words are needed, just smiles, precious lips, nose, eyes, and heart to see with. The heart and soul to laugh with, breaking the pattern and removing the wound and filling it with love and light and good healthy food and that which you consume. We're all codependent, Knight of Swords, locked at the root because we all depend on each other, each with different talents and abilities. Co-creation becomes codependency when it's out of balance is all. The truth is clear to see once you find the splinter, that tainted drop of water that ruined the whole batch of the sea. The back and forth, the up and down, the in and out, stay close to the middle is all, to your heart. Ego is solar plexus, and then victim in your voice. Raise your vibration to the N, the capital N for me is the Christ vibration, and raising your vibration to the nth degree here, the Christ unity consciousness, which isn't about religion, it's about unity. Smile at someone, glow when your eyes meet, hugs and kisses, not much need for words and numbers. That is all calculated and expressed through the heart-mind express train. The 3D of the 44 gate and the lap dance going onto the bridge invited on that number 33 bridge to the 30th Street station at the 5D Golden Gate, number 66 of the two spirals, and the 66 is the Queen of Pentacles as well, and the Golden Gate, to meet in the two spirals of the aqua rose gold mother's heart with direct connect from 5D station in all directions of time and space to infinitum number 99 of compassion. So get smart and be agent 99. After all, 66 plus 99 equals 69 and 69 of two big offers to each other of a new life. 33 is just a bridge to get there, to trampoline to propel you to summer salts. The rolling stone comes up here, MWE3, and that's the same letter, it's just in all four different positions, MWE3. The mountains is the M, the water is the W, and the E and 3 are the electromagnetic, which all together create the butterfly, the flower, and the heart without the V at the bottom of creation. Less than, greater than, up directions, and down. The V also comes up as the vagina and the penis, as well as the boobs and the balls. So then at 137 is the Magician and the King of Cups. You see it all. So much stuff came up in this. So in the 54 of the Page of Swords, the castle on a cloud, in that purple moon of lilac, that lying is lacking, higher realms and magic, the message of the sine wave, of paths and rockets, in steepled doorways, curved roof lines pointing up. Look up is the point. See what's going on. The Milky Way, the castle in the sky, Disney on steroids for all to enjoy. To the dimensional gate of the DG to the golden gate of the GG, God's grace. So of course the DG is the dog of the God, but also the GG of the divine grace to God's door. And then I was getting, for whatever reason, Charlie, Teddy, Kostya, and Micros. So Micros was our dog. My maiden name is Cope, so we used to name our dogs Micros, Cope, and Paris, Cope. My dad was a doctor. So, but those 4 names came up: Charlie, Teddy, Kostya, and Micros, Cope. The Whispering Bench, the Timeout, the Orion K portal, and I noticed that too. I was first noticing that Orion looks like the letter K, depending on how it's drawn. Like if the whole person's not drawn in there, it looks like a K. But so is this constellation of Taurus. They both look like Ks. So Orion K portal and the Mother, the mountain, where all roads lead home. The Mother's Heart Gate, the golden gate of Christ calling unity, which is U and I and then TY. You in a show of power, of gratitude. Look for auras, AURA. AU is gold, and Ra is the sun's rays. God's heart of gold, extending the sun's rays to heart, eyes, crown, hands, and feet. At 151, the Magician and the King of Swords. 2 pillars, 2 wings, 2 flames, and Jesus in the middle of the door, creating the 2-eyed needle, the push and pull of the twin flame quantum energy, the 0 point to field of view. It's all up to you, or it's all in you. With Terra and the sun, the mother's daughter and the father's son, exchanging phased arrays between the cross line of love, the line, the space between, the negative and the positive, the ley lines and the vertical pillars, and how they come together. Add up to 0, which equals 22. The 22 equals the circle, but it's also the 0 is the source embodiment of the human. And if you put 2 reflecting each other, it becomes the heart with a line underneath. And so you see, if you have 1, 0, 2, 2, 2, 2, which is October 22nd, 22, you have 10, heart, heart, which equals 2 hearts in a high vibration. Destiny of then 12, heart, heart, which is December 22nd, 22, which is the divine feminine and the divine masculine of 2 hearts. And then 1221 as well, 2022, which adds up to 3, 3, and 6, 1221 and 2022, which is 33-6, which is the Christ vibration. And of course, Christmas is then on the 25th. Divine masculine, divine feminine in the 21st to the 20th, and then to the 22nd. So it's giving the energy of the spiral, right? Falling back and then going forward again. The energy loops of spiraling together. 1221, 20 heart, which becomes the 2020, 2022. So when you have the 22, it becomes a heart. So literally 12, 20, 2022 is the 12 of the masculine and the feminine, the 1 and the 2, 2020, and then the heart. I'm just getting I love New York again. I heart 020 heart. The masculine and the feminine, 2 as 1. So, and by the way, Christmas this year adds up to 43, which is the 3 of Cups of coming together in joy. And that was at 202. So at 204, which is the High Priestess and the Emperor, we had the Wounded Warrior, 35, and the Kundalini rising, the 55 of the Ace of Swords and Excalibur, and the Red Root, Shaman. I was also getting Robin Hood right there. The truth of safety, strength, and power, with a peace offering to the Emerald Order. So from the root to the heart. The Knight of Cups, physical heart. The 18 cards came up here for this first deck. The bottom of it all was the green, the 39 of the Knight of Cups, and that healthy heart of the Emerald Order. And at the top of it all is the 41 of the As Above, So Below. The 41 is the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. The reflecting of compassion, of pink love. The 45, which is the void here, or excuse me, I think that might be the 48. My pens were running out like crazy yesterday. I couldn't find one that would actually flow. And then the Om energy was coming up here with the Om symbol, which looks like a 30 with an arc and a diamond above its head. And then when I put them together, it was giving me the energy of the star. Because I was getting the two reflecting, right? So if you have the two weeping willows, the two pink weeping willows, I want to show you the card. Let's see if I can reach it here. So I want to show you where the star was coming from, because it's very cool the way it was coming. So in something I read about one of the stars this week, it was talking about how it let go of mass at a certain point, and then the mass becomes like an arc around the planet. So there's like a haze of other energy that was its own matter but became separate at some point. So yeah, so this is the card that I was talking about, right? The two reflecting willow trees in pink. And so the star comes out of this because you see the vertical pillar, and then of course this line of the reflection, which is also like the horizon, right, where the star all of a sudden flashes, and you can imagine like in a science fiction movie, you often see that kind of star energy flash out across the horizon or across the sky. And then the tree, the life, is actually the vertical pillar, but you notice there's that cut in here of the sine wave energies, right, because there's no real straight lines in nature. And this creates then the star of the cross, but also the star energy within the root right here, reflecting itself. So then I got this picture of the arcs around it from the mass that happens around the planet or the star from whatever breaks away from it. And so you see that picture with an arc above, an arc below, making a partial circle, and then the cross with the star in the middle, which is really just the star, you know, reaching out with its light. So the leaves at the end of the tree always reach out for the ground to come together with the reflection underground, missing them and wanting to get to the other side. So the leaves die, just like us, walking away within to the void, the Om, the 0, the 22, the heart. The blue mother present under the star of Bethlehem, holding space, that she is the in the round, around the star of the star, reflecting the other side of the star, the center point of power and light. The King of Swords 51 of diamond wings of purity and innocence, and then the 12 of the hanging man of the Akashic records, hanging out, opening a random page or a page child, right? So tapping not only books and pages and Akashic records in meditation, but also tapping a child's brain for that fresh perspective. And the Knight of Wands is passion and love for life, filling up the heart. It's actually firing up the heart with that passion. And the gold cup here coming up as well. The cup then came up as quote-unquote the mercy cup, and give, you know, like two brothers wrestling and the other one saying to them, you know, I'm not going to let you go until you say I give. So the mercy cup and the quote-unquote give up, surrender, send your light up from your spiraling rose heart to infinitum, the sudden gold, the rush of love and light, the indigo's message back to the star above at 2:30, the high priestess and the union, the home. The 21 of completion and wholeness of the feminine and the masculine, and that 232, the journey of karma of the 28, which is the twin flames, double diamond star that looks like one star, as the fire dragon sits to the right admiring its light and its strength of sun. And remember I said that, because we have the mother with the diamond above her head like the North Star, and next to her though sits the dragon. And then the 38 comes up of the Queen of Cups and Mary Magdalene. The light body powering up for the pink shell, the scallop in the womb, the new child that sends their phased arrays up, just like the sun sends its phased arrays down in the masculine energy. The difference between the scallop and other bivalves shells is their ability to swim by clapping their shells together, sucking in water, and pushing it out quickly to shoot themselves forward, often in a zigzag pattern, just like the dance. There were two types that stood out there, the orange lion's paw and the Japanese baking dish, because of course the Magdalena is a scallop dish. It's a dessert. The Magdalena scallop life bulb in phased array, sending signals up between Betelgeuse as the Star of Bethlehem and the dragon, which was coming up with the pyramid here. So I was looking for the triangulum and the kite and all sorts of stuff from the constellations was coming up for me to look up. So I spent a lot of time yesterday doing this. And next to Mary Magdalene is the double diamond. So I found this one site. I don't know how I found it, because it's not your normal drawing of the constellations, but I would read this page. It was very interesting. But when I finished assessing all the page and learning where all the different constellations were that I need to get information from this, I actually came to a whole different conclusion than what they were getting, even though I really liked their conclusion about the constellation, which was a really cool story. The website's called theheavensdeclare.net. And I want to show you the picture when I start. I can get back to it. Yep, here it is. All right, so this is the main story of the website. And I don't know how I got to this, because it's not the normal picture, but it totally worked for what I was trying to find and didn't understand, because they're sending me to the dragon that's next to like Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which would be the Orion energy, because I was getting that yesterday of Betelgeuse and Bellatrix. And then here's this picture of the dragon right next to Orion, which is not the Draco, it's the dragon. So here, notice this is actually the Big Dipper. And then the dragon's actually in a lot of the Taurus constellation. And then you have the rider and the horse over here, opposite of Orion. And the dragon is opposite the woman running away. So remember I said that when I explained what my interpretation was here. So the mouth of the dragon is the V, just like I just talked about the V. It comes up again in another way. So the V is the bottom of the heart, and the rolling stone is the top of the heart. The 3, the E, the M, the W, right? So the dragon mouth is the V, like the constellation, and the mouth is right next to Orion's shield. And again, they make clear that the dragon is not Draco. This is the dragon next to Orion. And the Pleiades is the tip of the dragon's tail, which actually they describe looks like a lion's tail. And my cards that I was pulling were showing me the Divine Feminine Mary Magdalene, Queen of Cups, as the tail, with Aries and Pisces, and one foot, in one realm and one in the other, which is Pisces. The dragon's head is between his shield and the Pleiades, as the dragon's breath goes up to a quote-unquote wide gate, where his arm and his scythe in the picture, you see, go up to, let me get my little pointer, so don't get my finger in the way. So they talk about these two gates in their picture here, where his gate is right here, the two stars at the top of the gate, and then they're actually these two stars, I believe. And then the other gate that comes from the dragon's breath, which they call the water actually, are the two stars up here. Okay, so those are considered two different gates. And their story is, right, this is the dark gate and this is the light gate, and she has to find her way back to the right one. And that also the rider, and you can read the whole story if you want to, but the rider is connected to him, right? But listen to what comes up for me at the end. But I loved their story too, so I would definitely, it's worth the time to read what they wrote. So, the wide gate I just showed you and the narrow gate, right? The wide gate coming up from the dragon's breath and the narrow gate coming up from his scythe of Orion. Orion's sword goes up to and perpendicular in their drawing here of Orion, actually has a sword drawn and a scythe above it to the narrow gate, where the front legs of Taurus and then the back legs Cetus and 4-star fins are partly part of the Taurus constellation. Midsummer pre-dawn, and remember this too because we have on the 28th on the new moon a meteor shower, and you can only see it at night and pre-dawn. So here's midsummer pre-dawn coming up again, spewing his floodwaters north towards, and this was coming up from Revelations 12, the woman in travail. And the wave was coming up in Auriga, the wave of water or air, whatever, the dragon's breath, whatever you want to call it. Numbers 6 and 7 stars are the big gate, the big stars at the end. The red shoulder on Orion and the red tooth of the dragon's mouth. So the red shoulder, of course, is Betelgeuse, which I was getting that as the Star of Bethlehem, literally. And then the red tooth of the dragon matches the shoulder, but the other shoulder of Orion is actually Bellatrix, which is the feminine energy, blue. And then we have the red tooth of the dragon coming at Tim with his shield out. The high priest wore 2 onyx stones on their shoulders, just like he's got a star on each of his, of Betelgeuse and Bellatrix. Each of the 6, they were supposed to represent each of the 6 tribes of Israel. The red tooth was considered, quote-unquote, Satan, whose main object is the most faithful, right, of the martyrs. The 2 brightest stars of the dragon's wave and 2 of Orion's sickle. And those are the 2 gates. And of course the Orion's gate is the smaller one, and the dragon's breath is the bigger one, right? It's easier to go in. So they're proposing it as the dark gate and the light gate, and then there would be a third choice as well. But I noticed that both the gates were coming up as sets of twin stars. Castor and Pollux, which is actually Gemini, and they're the 2 boy twins, is the narrow gate. And the Pleiades in the shape of the lion's tail, the tassel type tail. That 1/3 were cast from heaven and then had to go on to earth, to redeem themselves. The woman who was running that I showed you was given eagle's wings, running from the dragon because she seeks to be Christ-like. And then the 7 heads came up with 10 horns and 7 crown of the dragon are the stars of the water, or the dragon's breath coming out of 10 stars. And then there's another 7 inside the 17. So coming up is the 7, 10, and 7. So the eagle angel here, the woman that's running away, is actually the Big Dipper. And the horse was coming up as Cassiopeia and Andromeda and Perseus. And the wide gate is Capella, along with Menkalinen, which is, I think, from Triangulum, which came up because the dragon was holding the pyramid. And that's his front left leg, is Capella, I forget which one it is. But anyway, so from the dragon, she runs in the wintertime. It looks like she's running away from the dragon as Orion fights off the dragon with the horse and the rider above. And here in their explanation from the Bible, Dan, which I've been talking about this past week, comes up as the Satan energy of the dragon and his people. But this is only according to what the Bible said. The horse and rider in their story was coming up as the Christ horse and Christ people, and the star Camelopardalis. I guess it's kind of Greek. I want to say Lapidus, but it's I can't say it. Anyway, it was camel and then Opadelis, and it's probably said in a Greek way. Camelopardalis, I want to say, but anyway, the camel came up because the camel comes up in my cards as the blue camel, the independent one. So that star was also coming up as significant. And they quoted, Dan shall be a serpent. By the way, an adder in the the patch that bites the horse's heels so that the rider shall fall backwards. So Dan is the serpent that causes the rider to fall off the horse. That's coming up from Genesis 49:17. And the woman flees into the wilderness to escape from the dragon. And by spring, the picture changes, and their positions in the fight change. As Orion has the upper position now, but the woman is now falling from the sky into the dragon's mouth, into the large gate. Are they headed towards the small gate of his scythe? The woman who hath fought from the man-child, from Revelations 12:12, the dragon falls to the ground. So he falls on his butt, the dragon, because now Orion's got the upper position. But she has the eagle's wings to place her in a nourished place for a time, time away from facing the serpent. So you shall tread upon the lion, which is the Pleiades tail, and adder, and the dragon triangle under feet. As like I said, in Gemini, Castor and Pollux are the two twin brothers in Gemini. Hold on one second, because I was looking to see what time the birth was today. And no one was responding to me because it was, everyone's busy doing their thing and taking care of people. Hold on one second. Okay. They didn't tell me the time. I wanted the time of birth. She told me how much she was. Oh, at least she's a tiny little thing, but she's good. She's over 5 pounds. That's good to know. Okay. All right, that was the other weird thing. So the new baby's name is Ava, and I told you it's 555 on the clock. And when I wrote avalanche in my video that I just posted, this short one that was like about 10 minutes, I said avalanche, and then I said Ava launch, and she launched very early. So it was kind of cool that came up in that read. So back to the Castor and Pollux, which is they're the two stars of the smaller gate. And Pollux was the son of Zeus, and Castor, they were half brothers. Castor was from Castorus. What was his name? Tindarinu? I can't read my writing. But the fathers of Pollux and Castor and Gemini were said to be born from an egg along with their twin sisters. So double twins and double twins. Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra, or Clytemnestra. Sorry about that. So twins who faced St. Elmo's fire, associated also with horses. The temple of Castor and Pollux was also in Rome, which was a 3-column structure that looked like this. That, is kind of, it hasn't held up. It's, fallen apart. But again, there was 3 pillars, not 2. And the dragon's tooth here looks like Aldebaran. So, Hydra was coming up directly behind the winter triangle, behind Orion. And Rigel was right between the twins and Betelgeuse. The divine feminine of Bellatrix is the blue star, like a white diamond, and the divine masculine of Betelgeuse is golden red. But there's also two blues around the red and gold. The mother and child energy was coming up, and then the Knight of Wands as the red between. So not just the masculine and feminine, but the third energy as well, which is the child. The Big Dipper is coming up as the mama, or the feminine running away, and the twin indigos blue. The twin diamonds are next to the dragon in the triangulum, and the Queen of Cups, the light body, at the end of it, which then Sirius was coming up at 444. The woman as she heads towards the narrow gate. And then the one who's the rider is considered the harlot, right, riding the beast in Revelations 18. So I was just trying to process the different constellations there to see what point it was, what star am I being guided toward? Because in my cards I was getting guided toward the star above the mother's head, but also the dragon being next to the Orion, Christ energy, watching them. So it was exactly this image, which I wouldn't have seen on a normal chart. Triangulum is coming up as the horse's left foot. So in my cards, the horse is the dragon holding down the divine feminine, because the horse in this picture is holding down the tail of the dragon. For me, the horse is the dragon holding down the divine feminine, who is the dragon's the feminine is the dragon's tail with Pleiades at the end and the seven sisters. He is the narrow gate. She is the wide gate. So they're not bad and good. He is the narrow gate. She is the wide gate. And the horse holds her down until the beast in her comes out in breath and emotion, while he must hold back and discern his spirituality. Or the horse is the Trojan horse or bull, led by a Taurus or the North Node, holding down the divine feminine's dragon's tail, so he can't get to her until things turn around. So again, the Taurus is coming up as the Taurus North Node riding the horse Sagittarius. So whether the horse is Saggy God energy, right, with the North Node holding the feminine back until things turn around, or whether the horse is actually the dragon, right, the Trojan horse type of energy holding the feminine down so he can't get to her. But Orion and the horse or bull are actually the masculine fragmented, right? So that's his fractured soul, Orion and the horse or the bull, right? The pieces of his soul that need to be retrieved. And the dragon and the woman is the divine feminine fractured. The rider of the bull or horse is the Taurus North Node, really riding the divine masculine to hold the divine feminine's tail until both souls are retrieved. His Gemini twin gate, her Auriga wide gate. First she's running from the dragon or herself, and then, this is not a good position with the bull on top, but as the winter turns to spring from east to west and the rolling stone moves from E to W, he gains possession as rider falls off the horse, and the woman then falls back into her body again, into the middle of the star as they fall into Sirius position. So it was very cool the way it came up for me. So I'm going to show you that picture again because I want you to see my explanation for what came up, because it was pretty profound. Okay, so here is that picture from the website, and here is the feminine in the beginning running away from herself, the dragon, right? So she gets awakened, she becomes the dragon who's being fought off by the masculine Orion, who's fighting with his other self over here, being ridden really hard by this Taurus North Node energy, and unable to get away from this, contraction type of thing. So if his fractured soul and her fractured soul, her running away from herself and him fighting himself, okay? And so as the world turns, as it literally turns, and this becomes a better position for him, she is now falling from the sky, and so is the dragon, who ends up on the ground on his butt. But she, with her eagle wings, floats down and is able to navigate away from her dragon self to heal in the story. As then they have to, she's the fallen angel who now has to redeem herself on earth, as he still fights off this energy that's still riding him hard, the other part of himself. So really cool stuff. Okay, so it comes up as the Fool's journey, right? Because the Fool and the dog. It's the dog star and the Fool. That Orion is actually the Fool, the red Fool. And I'm going to tell you the explanations for these stars, the way they're described online. The red star of the Fool, which is coming up as Betelgeuse, is Orion. And he's described, or that star is described, as the speed demon, the racer, the one who lives fast. Whereas the dog star, or the blue star of Sirius, but also the energy of Bellatrix, the other shoulder, is the energy of a split personality, or the divine feminine, who sees both sides of the situation. And she's much closer to Earth. She's not as bright. She's much better grounded. So she may look more bright, but she's actually very serious. Where Betelgeuse, is the brightest star in the sky. So his light shines very bright naturally. So the winter triangle came up because that's Betelgeuse, Sirius, and Procyon. And they're the three different colors, right? Betelgeuse is red, Sirius is blue, and Procyon is a white star. And it's a lesser dog. So there's the two dogs. And that was coming up as the two feminines and the masculine. And they both get behind Orion. And then at 5:48, which is the Hierophant and the 48 of the 8 of Cups, 18 cards came up. And it was the 18th yesterday. The 0 point field of the blue moon. And again, that star energy of the cross with the star in the middle. The shaman offers his rod to her staff, and that is like the Southern Cross, the North Star. The lover's message on the 4D bridge of the wounded warrior's 2D truth, but inspired by the Holy Grail of love, the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands. And then from Nature's Whispers, the underlying energy of the 33. And to be gentle with yourself. The 33 is that Christ vibration and unity consciousness, standing up for yourself. The 13 of new peace or renewed peace, and the 43 that love matters and coming together. On the 4D bridge, on the number 33, be gentle with self, cuddling with your tree, transitioning to renewal of peace and coming together. As the bird opens up and a ship sails away, love matters. So as far as the star's size is, the brightest star is Sirius, followed by Canopus, and then Regal, Centaurus, not Rigel, but Rigel Centaurus, and then Arcturus is after that, and then Vega, and then Capella, which is very bright, right above Betelgeuse, and then number 8 is Procyon, 7 is Rigel. 6 is Capella, 7 is Rigel, 8 is Procyon, and Betelgeuse is number 10. And then Aldebaran is 14. But in the size of these stars in diameter, Betelgeuse is the number 1. And number 2 is the VY Canis Majoris, which is actually the biggest star when you talk about radius. But by diameter, that's the list that came up, and the number 1 was Betelgeuse, which was the star I was looking at. So at 4:46, which is the Emperor and the inner children, outer children loving each other, is the triangulum. I don't know, I can't say the names here. The triangulum is the horse's left foot, right, the feminine side. So in my cards, the horse is the dragon holding down the divine feminine, who is the dragon's fuel, and Pleiades at the end. He is the narrow gate, she is the wide gate, and the horse holds her down until the beast in her comes out in breath and emotions, while he must hold back and discern his spirituality, or the horse is the Trojan horse or bull, led by a Taurus, North Node, holding down the divine feminine dragon's tail, so he can't get to her until things turn around. So then at 537 is the Hierophant and the King of Cups. And the first card out here was the 26 of the Page of Wands, to be true to your heart. Earthy and natural and destined, the 10, to open up your heart to another in your number 33 connection. The 34 card then came out, which is the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, and the vulnerability as the little girl, as you allow the leaf to carry you to your destination. Remember the leaf that falls off the tree. It wants to die. It wants to die too, to get to the other side. The Queen of Wands, who rides the seahorse with paint in her hair. Be your best self always. The Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And then 16 cards came up here. At the bottom of it all was the 50 of the potential gateway of complete happiness. And at the top of it all was the 40 of the Page of Cups, of that pure innocence and showing your support. The 10 of Cups of the tree gate potential. And then the Page of Cups in showing your support to the flowers and the fairies, the birds, and the man in the canoe, or the whispering bench. The 18 is today, but also the new experiences and possibilities here. The butterfly, the divine feminine knight on the round table in a bouquet. A close-up look. And then the big picture. The 17 of dreams and infinite blessings, and fairy dust across the land. Illumination of the number 2, High Priestess, Divine Feminine, with Butterfly Friend, seeing the dark side of the moon. And here we have the new moon coming up with the meteor showers on the 28th. And then Isabellum, or Indigo Angel, was coming up here. And it's funny because I'm going to see an Isabel this week, which I don't normally see. But Isabellum was coming up, or Indigo Angel. And then 38 of the Queen of Cups, acceptance of love, from the tree to the vines. The little fairy girl, Chariot, makes ripples in the water as the vehicle of positive emotions and change, with the ancients watching over her. The 22 of the Fool's Journey is that fool on his tightrope in a leap of faith, and the 21 of their completion with a fresh approach, self-satisfaction of the 49 to heighten their vitality, remembering your true colors. The 27 of the Ace of Wands and maintaining your childlike spirit, to be inspired by the 28, the twin flames, and the bouquet harvest, the bountiful harvest. All around the earth, Mother Earth at 610, which is my mother's birthday. The 6 of the lovers in the big picture, from the South Pole to the North Pole. Flowering, lovers' empowerment in purging away. It's like the rainbow from one side to the other in turbulent waters. Purging away from those turbulent waters. The Magician made a wish from a very green-yellow place. Hug a tree to catch your breath and ground your shadow side when that comes up. The 50 of your emotional fulfillment, your tree, your potential gateway to complete and fulfill as mother and child. And Metatron. And then I had missed a few in the other deck. So I went back to the Page of Wands, who's taking one step at a time to conquer their dreams without fear, with compassion for self in endings and purging, as the 2 of Cups 1-1 go with the flow on the whispering bench. Dance and lead the way with flame in hand, the 8 of the dance and the manifestation of your dreams. The 52 of the Queen of Swords, Big Bird, with priorities of the Knight of Cups, Green Heart Healing, and the Emerald Order of the Aqua Rose Gold Heart, number 39 of that Knight of Cups. So then it was 618, which is the lovers, and the 18 again of the moon, that purple moon, and the 0 point. The Shaman Eyes of the Eagle, the 18 card. So here at 618, it was the 18 card. And Crown Games, number 8, the Metox 39, again, of the Knight of Cups, and the 52, again, of the Queen of Swords, straddling worlds, like the Pisces energy, one foot in this world, one in the next. And I was getting from July 18th, yesterday, on through 8-8 of Lionsgate. the Knight of Cups metox, and the Queen of Swords foot in each world. The 43 of coming together, overflow and joy, and the 33 of standing up for yourself in joyful muse. Write your own story. The Chariot sacred contract of the Page of Cups and the mindful group think, or coming together to brainstorm, but heartstorm instead. So at 623, which is the Lovers and the King of Wands, closing the door of the 5, which is the Hierophant, but also change, freedom, and expansion, and the first breath. So the 21 of completion and then going into the next. The freedom and change and completion, and of 2, 1, jump. The 19 cards came up here, which then was today's date. And at the bottom of it all was the 45 of repairing the veil, and at the top, the 32 of the journey of the jeweled web, that light connection. The journey of connecting the lights instead of the dots. The 32, destined to dive deep into your destiny, into those emotional waters. And the 34 of the energetic exchange in the lay of the land, the king of the hill. The 48 of walking away within, and the sky dancers of surrendering within. The 55 of the farther gate, which has been coming up as the Father today. The double gate and the double sun. The Sirius gate and the Dragon's gate. 3 green portals and 2 lions. 2 lions pillars and 1 gate for the special couple to get through. So there's 2 lions. Remember the card that keeps coming up as the Farther's gate has 2 gates and 2 suns. And I've been getting a second sun being puffed out by Puff the Magic Dragon from the South Pole. And there is a Herculean mountain on the South Pole. So it could be coming up from that king of the hill. The farther gate, the double gate, and the double sun. The Sirius gate coming up, of course, 8-8, which is the double sun. And the Dragon's gate was coming up as the 3 green portals. Literally like the arrow with the 2 lions being pillars, and then only that 3rd portal is only for the lucky couple, right? That's their private gate to go through for the special couple to get through. Like at the bank, right? The doors that close first and then you can open the other doors. So only they can go in there together. The benefactors come up here, and this is coming up like the new parents as well, of 3 grace and generosity, that picture I love so much of the 2 cuties in the mushroom being so happy, and he's got a king. I got to show you that picture now too, because that's so much the energy of the happy parents today here. Yeah, I love this. Is probably my favorite card in this deck. Like, look at these guys, they're so cute. All right, so the happy family, the benefactor of grace and generosity, as it's like, you know, at the wedding where they have their own private table. Well, this is coming up as their own private gate with the 2 pillars around them, which is coming up like that. The 3 of the Gemini skinny gate there. So the Golden Gate, which comes up as the Dragon Gate, and there's actually a Dragon Gate in San Francisco, which has to do with Chinatown. So the Golden Gate, which is in San Francisco, was coming up around the bend, which is in Oregon, just north of San Francisco, as 2 little cuties. He and his crown are sitting back to watch the show in their mush room, with lots of laughs and chuckles, as the fools embrace the 22, the fool's journey, transmuting pain in child's pose, while the fool, Beetlejuice, adjusts to your quote-unquote seriousness, and the 20 of the wake up to a Sunday and 2 straws and crystals with a feast of plenty. And it's coming up as the 2 straws or the gates and the 1 crystal. In the feast of plenty of the 61, which is the taking a risk card of the whale's song. And that's like 61 significant for me too, because the year I was born and the age I am this year is the number coming up this year. So the whale song resonating, taking a risk in a portal at the bottom of the sea for Pinocchio to become a real live boy at 638 of the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. And Root Girl, who disowned herself, 46 to become only a filament of your imagination, allowing the child to grieve. The 57 of the Three of Swords separation of unmarked trail and revelation of the labyrinth, the green labyrinth, with pressure, or the lantern with coal. The Queen of Wands, number 24, cocoa nut that doesn't fall far from the tree, joins the galactic two, the beloved hearts on fire in radical acceptance of peaceful travels with the ancients watching over them. Their totem lions, and the 19 of the sun, and falling angel who fell back into herself, right? That's the soul retrieval. The light so bright with seriously 49 self-love and skywriting the fates of the letters K, M, the hourglass on its side, which is representing the infinity symbol as the twins come together and it falls on their side. And then I kept talking about the F symbol, and that's one of the symbols on the card that looks like this. And then the winner's gate, or the flags, are down at the end. The king of the hill is Orion. The queen of the heart is Mary forever. The 27 of the Ace of Wands flame, whose heart is the home with compassion, and the 63 of suffering and silence, and the winter's dream of gestation period in purging and repairing the veil. Forgiveness. At 647, the lovers and the synchronicities, and heaven in their eyes. Sewing the quilt or the pages back together, with space between for room for the articulation, the binding, the bridging, the arcing, and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So then Betelgeuse was coming up, and the numbers, it went from 18 to 16 to 19. So again, there's that curve, right? Going from 18 down to 16 and then back up to 19 again. And that's also the moon, the tower, and then the sun. And that's Cancer and Leo as well, with the Scorpio tower in between. So then at 7:38 to 39, I was asking about Betelgeuse. So I'm not going to go into that read. But the underlying energy was definitely a fallen angel implementing a plan, who's weak in implementing a plan. But again, remember what I said about the falling angel is that they're falling back into their body again. The movie that came up last night was Live is Life, which was about a group of boy friends, and two of them were twin brothers, right? And one had cancer. So I would definitely recommend that movie. It was a beautiful movie. It was all about back in the 70s when you were a kid. It was very much different than today. So yeah, check that out. And also, it's funny, my nephew's wife is Brittany, and her name came up also on the 18th yesterday, and on the 14th, Ava came up. So it was really cool how they were coming up for me. I just wanted to make sure there's nothing else. And the camel kept coming up regarding that star, that constellation. So then we got to today, which is the 19th, and the day adds up to 32 today. So it's the sun and the journey, the Fool. Which is very fiery too, right? Because the Fool is Aries and the sun is Leo. And very much the energies of the two gates and the two suns. The two suns is 8-8. And the two gates are coming up as the two pillars with the one in the middle. And that was coming up when I was drawing lines on the constellations, which I'll get to in a minute. So, the double diamond, remember dimension is diamonds, connection, dimension. So the double diamond gates is coming up here. And I first just pulled a few energy cards before I started. I can show you those. So I pulled these energy cards today first before I did this read. It's a really quick message. Okay. And then was this second read that I did today. So same decks, Metatron on the top, Nature's Whispers in the middle, and then the Shaman Dreams at the bottom. Okay, so from the energy deck read, and Tesla was coming up because Tesla just come up. I was listening to Michael Salla talk about Tesla and energy stuff, and then the energy deck, of course, came up, and they were, in my mind, they weren't related. It just came up that way. So liberty, this is at 825. Liberty, patience, and the door to value. The Statue of Liberty, and I love New York was coming up again. A sudden opening to families. And remember I have to show you that picture too. The chaos of the emperor and stability, the structure of envy and judgment, and the envious wicked witch, while Archangel Michael is at the root, on guard. The goddess of the moon, Queen of Swords, holds up the moon while stripping down to tape only. A wake-up call of Atlas and the Wounded Warrior, of the Queen of Swords' patience and balance at the new moon, 28, triumphing towers and victorious secret, at peace with the King of Swords, Archangel Chamuel, in unconditionally loving energy and confident. And then I was getting the confidant as well. And from the Wicked Witch and the Wounded Warrior, both WWs, to the loving Twin Flames, Victoria's secret. So it's coming up as the victory's secret. Under the sun is the unappreciative and deceitful, under financial constraints. And then the transition of the 25 and 15, which is the Knight of Wands and the Devil, was coming up as these two who are in deceptive energies. The exposure of their destitution after the 51 of the King of Swords, healer of the ages, strategized or wrote about it at 852, the dance or manifestation of the Queen of Swords here. All right. So here is the message of the day with Metatron, Nature Whispers, and Shaman Dreams. And this one was done, I dealt these cards 8:55 this morning till 9 o'clock. And it was really weird, the underlying energies. I read the 3 cards. Actually, I went down to a 4. I was trying to keep to just 3, but I went to the 4. There were 4 cards down in each deck, and then they were aligning vertically, like they're repeating the same message over and over again. So it was coming up as when the cards were syncing vertically. I sneezed right there too. The Queen of Cups 38 light body powers up. It's like the heart of the tree powering up. The heart tree is coming up as the gate of the 50 of the emotional family. Reflecting portal and eyes of the eagle, which can come up as EA glee or E gull. And remember, E is the one with 3 lines down, which is 1 is equal and congruent to the gull. Remember the difference between the regular eagle and the gull eagle is that the gulls will dip down into the water where the eagle doesn't. They usually just slide across the top when they want to get their fish. And the full moon was coming up there with the 18 cards, but the military energy and that white hat energy. And then that look into my eye, the ocular, the oracle decorated. And then Michael Salla is coming up with Dr. Tom Vallone, who was the one he was interviewing today about the Tesla energy. The eye is the portal to the soul. And the eagle is smaller than the eagle, but dives underwater. The Queen of Cups with happy family during Cancer season, with important information at the full moon. And 7/18/22, which was yesterday. And then 9/18 was coming up as well, which is 33, but 9/18 is also my birthday. And it was interesting, 9/18 was coming up because it's my birthday, because my nephew was giving birth. So that's how they tell me there's a birth. As Archangel Sandalphon at 9:15, the Hermit and the Devil, a shadow. Sandalphon's 22 in this deck, which is the Fool's Journey. And again, that 22 on the adventure of home and union and hovering in union over the Page of Cups in a mindful group think. The innocent one, the pure innocent heart, the full home with the Page of Cups, or Cancer and Pisces Aries. The eyes rising military guard. So then I was looking at the cards, and the first initial from each card was coming up in a row. So I'm like, okay, I have to look this up. And it was coming up as Eyes Rising Military Guard was the first thing came up on the Whispering Bench with the C to G, which is the Christ-God connection, or Urgent Mary Grace, which is my mother's name actually, and Mother of God was coming up. And then the EMWC was coming up from the cards. And EMWC is the Rolling Stone, because E, M, W, and C is the number 3. And then M's bathroom was coming up as the water closet, but the M is coming up as the mountain or the mother. So the EMWC, which is coming up as the Rolling Stone, where C is the 3, because the third letter of the alphabet, the Rolling Stone of East, and then what came up when I looked up that acronym was the East Monroe Water Company and Brown County, 40 years, Bloomington, Indiana, which is very interesting too, because that was one of the medical device companies that was significant in my work. And a very good one. It wasn't on the market or anything. It was it remained privately owned because they didn't want, those other restrictions. And it wasn't a drug company, it was a device company. It's different. The EMWC also came up as Elite Wellness, so that piqued my curiosity. And when I went in there, it said this may be one of those false sites impersonating to steal your personal information or financial information. So EMWC, the Rolling Stone, was coming up as Elite Wellness, that was a tainted site. And then East Midlands Water Company, so a lot about water was coming up. The aquaeuro.com is an English company of water filters, but also ways to remove lime scale from the pipes. It looked kind of interesting, actually. So then it was St. Dolphin at 9:34, the Hermit and the Energetic Exchange. And St. Dolphin is, for me, it's Archangel Sandalphon is St. Dolphin. The star, Dolphin. Do, L, Phi, N. Do the right thing, reflect Jesus. Hovering our Gibraltar Strait, or the altar and the strait. The conch shell communication, the dark side of the moon. With algae moss rehab, balloon and buffoon, the portal from tree to there, for Dolphin Divine Feminine to watch from her nook, as extension of the tree trunk, and the woodwives' adaptability, like the electrons around the protons and neutrons. 7, 23, and 64 were coming up, which is the Chariot of Cancer, or Cancer King of Wands, spying on you remote viewing, or Pain and Bliss of watching Dolphin is water or emotions and unable to do anything about it, watching a child from afar and still attached to the root of the tree, another trunk that they are, growing separately though, on the side as opposed to straight up and branching out. A sturdier trunk like a parent, straight from the bottom, keeping an eye on the little ones that are not so little anymore. The key to authentic self, the 46, of the children loving each other and seeing your little ones grow up to be like you. The key of the authentic self is to seek beauty in yourself and receive love from yourself. Perhaps a birthday coming up, Esther Williams coming up, and the bathing cap again, and the Vegas showgirl in the headdress all lit up. The 44 of the social worker type Atlas energy of wanting better for your daughter than a 3D lap dance showgirl, or locked inside themselves, right, of one who's very anxious, with an unwritten covenant to be all that you are. Soulmates learning to control every aspect of their life by being aware, conscious, and present in every moment. The grounding, integrating, and mastering of love as opposed to boredom. Seeing the beauty in the chariot that's unwritten. The divine feminine within the masculine ascending, like Santa with gifts. The secret Santa. The Trojan, in a good way, a way in to gift without disturbing their sleep. yet inspiring sugar plum fairies in their dreams. So the first section here was the cosmos reflecting the pentagon at 9:53, the Hermit and the Knight of Swords, with 12 faces, 20 points, and 30 sides of perspectives. Judgment and housing was coming up, and then the House and Senate was coming up, and the 12 with no right to decide for everyone else. A wake-up call to what mirrors you upstairs, the biggest and the brightest stars, and the chaos our own sun brings, lighting up the shadows of our minds to alchemize the light and dark and the outline of the sun. The contrast is the beauty of the eclipse and the ellipsis and the elliptical, the sudden changes. It goes without saying, around the world in 80 days, the optical illusion or focused intent of the squinty eye, of the zero or the circle and the oval, the circle and the oval and the rotational push and pull, a planet with a ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. With Jupiter, it has 4 rings, the main, the halo, the gossamer, and the Himalaya, with a lot of water ice. With a lot of water ice. With Uranus and Neptune, Uranus actually has 13 known rings around it, you just can't see them, and Neptune 5. Unlike Jupiter and Saturn, Uranus and Neptune rings are dark, perhaps carbon-based molecules as opposed to the ice water. At 10:08, the Wheel of Fortune and the 8 of the Dance and Manifestation of Dreams, 4.5 billion years ago, young Earth collided with Theia, which was the size of Mars, and shattered just some of Earth, hitting at just the right angle. Debris ejected into its orbit and made or formed a large ring. It did not exist long. It ascended to form the moon. So Phobos, a Mars moon, is actually falling towards Mars now. The orbit is decaying, and in about 70 million years, Mars's gravity will rip Phobos apart and form rings around it. Ring around the rosy. At 10:12, destiny of the hanging man to hang out or be hung out to dry. A record like a 45 with a big hole in the center. With a big hole in the center. Sorry about that. It's all the new birth news. A record like the 45 with a big hole in the center, or a globe in a holder that enables the spin, the Atlas. Speaking of which, the next card is number 44, Atlas. Like Rock of Gibraltar, the altar of British GI on Spanish territory. The Vasco Núñez de Balboa, 1475, January 15th, 1519, he was a conquistador. 1513, discovered the Pacific from the New World, settled on the island of Hispaniola, and founded Santa Maria la Antigua del Darien in the present-day Colombia, 1510, the first permanent Euro settlement on the mainland of America. And then, of course, Christopher Columbus, who was actually Christophorus, not just Christopher, that's an Americanized or English version. From August 25 to around October 31st, he was born, 1451, until May 2nd, 1506. He actually set sea, though, at age 14. But he wasn't Spanish, he was Italian, but he was working for the Spanish. He was an explorer navigator who completed 4 Spanish voyages across the Atlantic, sponsored by the Catholic monarchs of Spain. Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand II sponsored him. He left Castile 1492 with 3 ships and landfall 1012, ending the quote-unquote pre-Columbian era. Landed on the Bahamas and visited Cuba, Hispaniola, and also what's now Haiti. Returned to Castile 1443, early that year, with a number of the captured natives. He was actually the one who gave the name Indians to them, to the indigenous people of America. He was He was arrested and removed from Hispaniola 1500 due to his brutality. Some say he was unfairly maligned by anti-Catholic sentiment at 1030. And that's the Wheel of Fortune and the Union. So the New Worlds. UK on Spain, Spain on Africa, Spanish and Italians to the New World, the UK colonize and take over, and the US then free, but Canada is still owned by the Crown, Italy and Spain by the Vatican, and now our New World is up there. As the sun shines down, we light up with an SOS to our galactic friends through natural signals of waves crashing into the land, where land meets sea, meets sky, meets I am. I am, mountain, mother, Mohammed, inspired by emotion to internalize and light up. Funnel the energy of the 44 Atlas to the number 33 train over London Bridge falling down to the 66 Golden Gate and the 5D pillar, the train station of 5D, and the Queen of Pentacles, the UK. And is that England or is that Ukraine train? The beacon is B. Khan. And then James Khan came up, and I had no idea he died, but he just died when I looked it up. So he's coming up. The Queen and James Khan were coming up as the Godmother and the Godfather. He was from The Godfather, The Thief Star, dead at 82 on July 6, 22, so he just passed away. He was also in Misery and Alf, but what I most remember him from is Brian's Song, because that was like the most amazing movie of the 70s. So his date of birth was March 26, 40, so he was Aries like the Queen as well. So we're getting the Godfather and the Godmother. Spirit is very funny sometimes. So at 10, 12 to 13 is Brian's Song from 1971 about Brian Piccolo and Gail Sayers. Brian Piccolo's wife and Gail Sayers' wife, Linda, from the Chicago Bears, who had cancer after turning pro. The first interracial roommates in the National Football League. And of course, the picture company was Columbia Pictures, so there's Columbia coming up again. And at 10:46 to 47, the quote from the movie was, and this was so important, not to remember how he died, but how he lived. And you have to, if you've never watched Brian's Song or you don't know the music, listen to Henry Mancini's Brian's Song. Because as soon as I heard it again, I teared up like instantly. I don't think anyone who grew up in the 70s doesn't tear up if they hear Brian's Song. The King of Swords is pure and innocent and has the diamond light. So just really briefly, so it was about Brian's Song. So Brian Piccolo got cancer, and Gail Sayers was his black teammate, and they became really close friends, the two couples, especially like after he got sick. So it was, the whole story was about their relationship and what beautiful people they were. And this is the important part. Like, so why is James Caan getting all the glory when some of these people he played, right, were the ones who didn't need the glory, right? They did it because it was their heart. It's who they were. It's what they loved. The 5 of the message in a bottle to communicate and speak up and be heard, that everyone has a message to bring. The indigo of the 21, not seeing just the stars, and the actors are wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful creative art. But the star, when you're portraying another person who was this amazing person, they don't get any of the glory, right? Because the story is about them, and now we know about their lives, but they didn't get that kind of respect or attention when they should have received it, when the stars were all receiving the attention, you know, because they're famous, which is just my point. So everyone deserves to be seen and heard. But again, are you doing things for the right reason? Are you acting because of the art of it and how much you love to do the art, or are you doing it to seek attention? So in every field of work, there's going to be a few different sides and perspectives. So not just seeing the stars, but those they portrayed. The double diamonds of Brian and Joy, of Gail and Linda. The Piccolos and the Sayers. Freedom for all the world, not just some, to be seen and heard. The true unsung heroes that don't require attention to know who they are. The double diamond, the dimension, the diamond's connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. And of course, that's Kermit. The divine, right? Because Miss Piggy gets all the attention. The twin flames, the bottle and the shell, the vehicle, the instrument, the mouthpiece, free and whole, twinkle, twinkle, little stars, untying the karmic knots caused by others, just because they want all to be free, in unity, you in a show of power and gratitude, in your corner of the world. Gold. And then Cannes came up, James Cannes, but then Cannes, France came up, and the French Riviera and the Alps, and of course that elite energy at the film festival, and that just happened, Helen Mirren at 76. So this all came up before I even looked, it just came up again, and then that was a new news release as well. So apparently Helen Mirren, who's 76, was looking great, she was all dressed up, and the movie that she represented, Mother and Son, which has been coming up all week, and in a ponytail with very long hair and metallic gown that you can be any age and look great, right? So at 11:02 is Justice in the Two of the High Priestess. The indigenous filmmaker says he was turned away for wearing moccasins. Okay? And this is at the film festival. The Ace of Cups came up as the gold, the cups, the awards, only for the most beautiful, the most talented, the most intelligent and creative. Or are they expressing their true nature, and that's why they're drawing energy to them? God works, though, in mysterious ways, and God would never try to make you feel unworthy or imperfect. Sudden epiphanies lights up the cosmos, those underground saving our children, the unsung heroes of love powering up the grid, and those children later showing their appreciation, at 11:11, by the way, the legacy of love, which is compassion. The key to child and authentic self is to give up, light up your heart to the multiverse. 11:12, and that's, I got a call right there as well. My brother called them. And then after lighting your heart up to the multiverse, I was getting, and then carry on in the tree of life, from orange to the gold, unity consciousness, the orangutan, the forest veggie man, or Tarzan, to the Christed, the heart opening to journey through the shadow to wake up in a line. Hear ye, a cattle call from the winged messenger, Mercury, with 13 cards and all here, where at the bottom of it all is the pink of compassion and the page of wands inspired, and at the top of all is the 17 of your dreams, that they can come true. They can happen to you if you're young at heart. And conquering fears of dreams. I was just getting field of dreams as well. One step at a time. Is that the show's name? I'm getting the show too. Is that Tootie? One day at a time, one step, I can't think of it, but Tootie's coming up too. So conquering fears one step at a time, and a step down in energetic exchange with ancestors, with appreciation and compassion and healing, bridging as above so below, the 41 of the gold cup, the Holy Grail, and the reflecting trees at 11:42 of alignment of the Two of Cups and that 1-to-1 energy. The stars wink, that sparkle that I showed you before, the horizon line of the vertical pillar of compassion. Loving self loves others. Of the inspired 27 Metatron Rainbow Bridge, the 4D, which is the 44 and 33 gates, the 3D gate to the 5D gate, the 44-33 and the wind beneath your wings, the sine wave up and down of compassion. The sine wave up and down, which the cards were literally reflecting in this deck. The compassion and energetic exchange, and then the upswing of the rainbow, and the wave of gratitude. And then again, the pair of what was coming up today with the birth, when I was getting the North Star, I'm like, oh no, they're taking me back to the constellations again. I'm like, you're killing me here. But today it was just coming up as the North Star, because the North Star is directly above Bellatrix, next to Betelgeuse. But from Bellatrix to the North Star, it goes right between Elnath and Capella. It like slides right in there between those stars, and they're really close together in that vertical pattern. Compassion and energetic exchange, and then the upswing of the rainbow and the wave of gratitude and the push and pull, the sliding down of momentum in order to go up, the air, wind as the ether to gravity, moving air as we breathe, and moving starlight and ether as we flow to the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. The carpenter bee pollinating the butter cup, so again there's that energy of a reward. The holy grail, the one grail, the gold magic of joy and happiness, of being or becoming a mother, the 29 of the Three of Wands, and being present to these huge gifts. Under the star of Bethlehem, of B to the nth degree, l'chaim, to life. Betelgeuse, Betel, juice. And by the way, Geis means enemies of the Spanish crown, a faction in Spanish Netherlands, or Protestants. A small flag flown at ship's bowsprit, but it's basically saying that the Protestants, or these people, as compared to the Catholics or the Spanish, were beggars or good-for-nothings, freeloaders. So betel, B-E-T-E-L, is a type of tree, the vine, the palm, the tree, and the pepper. So all the parts of the tree. So the Betelgeuse was coming up as the family hand, the extension, the fruit of the good-for-nothing or Protestants, or the enemies of the Spanish crown. Those the Catholic Church has deemed as lowlives. The bee and the mother sit next to the dragon, shoulder to shoulder, with star directly above her, which is coming up as the North Star, but like kind of beeline straight through Elnath, I think it is, and then Capella, which is a very bright star, directly to the North Star. And then Rigel came up on the left foot, and Castor, connecting to Castor, and then Safe in this picture is coming up as the right foot, connecting to Capella. Passes right between Behel and Bella, and then Pollux connects directly to Capella as well. So just taking me kind of on this trail of connecting the dots. So Bellatrix points to the small star next to Procyon as well. And Procyon, with its little star next to it, is like Betelgeuse and Bella. It's like Sirius and Merzan, as Sirius goes through Orion's belt to Aldebaran. Orion's scythe is a platform for the twins. Pollux and Castor, who are the twin brothers, are just like Riesel and Cursa in the way the stars line up. The mother star, which can be deemed as Cassiopeia, the W, which is part of the Rolling Stone, the mother to Andromeda, which is the daughter, but also Virgo could be considered the mother, right, the Virgin Mother, and Spica came up with M61 there. Hydra and Virgo are between Orion and Hercules, right? They're fighting off around Hydra and Virgo to keep the others away. And Hydra connects Pegasus and the dragon. And right here is where I got a text from the mother who delivered today. And that was at 12:54, the Hanging Man and the Page of Swords. So the dragon is between the mother and the Christed gate. But the Christ gate is here, but also Jesus on the other side of Mary. The Golden Gate, the two spirals of the Rose Heart, the 66 of the Golden Gate, but also the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, which came up as the Queen earlier today, along with the Godfather. The diminished gate to 0 point field, the castle in the sky, 54 again, powers up, where it's Thanksgiving every day in your synchronicities and your heaven in your eyes, with blessings and thanks and good food, inspired magic rainbow of bee and buttercup. The mother with star above, aligned above their head, with the sun in place at the Golden Gate, the 33 of the 4D bridge, with a message to bring. And that's coming up to the North Star. At 2:04, which is the Divine Feminine and the Emperor, heaven in their eyes with blessings and thanks, as for me, the new parents coming up here, and the silver of the 30 of the Union and the Warrior of Light. A sword required sometimes to cut through the union of love, the aqua rose gold mother's heart of the 6 of the Lovers, and the Page of Wands, pink one, that little new baby, and the Magdalena life bulb with their phased array at 2:06 and 2:08. So transition here, big transition energies as the Queen of Cups in Sandalphon, which is the Mary Magdalene and the Jesus type energy. Sandalphon is very sweet archangel energy, very creative. And the little boy and little baby dolphin who wouldn't come out of the keyhole. It's time to catch some quote-unquote rays. And then the numbers were coming up again as the birthday, the transition of a birth here. At 2:11 was intuition of the 36 of the Atlas energy, and the cap on. It's like the hat or the cap on, the crown opening with deliverance. Like Frosty's coming up again here with happy birthday with the 19. And the 19, let that sun energy shift your energy to hover above carrying nature from the sun to the vulnerability of the energetic exchange with baby lying in your arms or the baby lying in a leaf. The little one in whatever it's in, the crib, whatever's keeping it safe, on the Borealis River for healing with 9 candles, 9 cards, and waiting for baby to come back to her. At 2:17, the High Priestess and the Star. With 9 cards here, where the mother is at the bottom of it all, and at the top is the 32 of the journey, the Fool. To trust your own understanding with an open heart, taking that leap of faith. And the Wounded Warrior Moon, who may feel lost without their little one, even though loved ones are standing by. The 40 of the Page of Cups, show your support. And the Innocent One, whether that's your own inner child, whether it's your puppy or your friend or whatever you're dealing with, show your support. And here it was also coming up as the flowers and the trees and the birds. Show your support to them when they help you in the perfect setting to paint a pretty picture on the wall with sun shining through. At 2:22, the Wounded Warrior Little One, Page of Cups, then being isolated and taken care of. Be spontaneous and reach out during chaotic times. The 31 of pulling. It was like 2 little fairies where one was being pulled out of the flower to the other one, like a mother and child. And the 2 of the illumination from the dark side of the moon, with Butterfly Girl and Butterfly Friend helping them along. The self-satisfaction of heightening your vitality by being natural and self-satisfied and being in service to the little seahorse with self-love, new love, and spiritual love. And perhaps a new mom, and thick hair was coming up too, and I noticed that too for any of you who watch Z, because she just had a baby, and I noticed how thick her hair was. I just remember how thick my hair was when I gave birth. The 43 of the 3 of Cups, and love matters as the bird opens to the hangar and the ship sails, connecting with a bird, birthing a little jet plane. It's like the plane opening up, but it's not really, it's a bird opening, but it's not really a bird. It's a plane opening up to another little plane inside of it. And yet the ship is sailing away. It's our new connection, to the ET realms, but also being spaced out a bit. The 32 of trust in your journey and your own understanding that your filter may be different than theirs. And then in Shaman Dreams, which was 232, is the Chariot and that unwritten energy again of the song Unwritten, and the Dragon's Hoard of the 12 hanging out, being wise, protecting the future with the little guy. The 60 of Peace and the Watchers, and the totems admiring together. The peaceful new parents, or the 4 of the Emperor, and the cat ER pillar, or perhaps someone's getting a CAT scan. An opportunity to unwind now that the well is suddenly empty, and time to replenish. Like I said, perhaps a CAT scan or back relief or sudden bowels release after constipation. The Horseman coming up of number 30 of the Home and Union, heralding in the changes. The 54 of the Page of Swords, and the crossing, the initiation of that half of a tree trunk being laid down like the masculine would lay down his jacket for the lady. Rushing in to rescue onto the bridge with a message, the 51 of the King of Swords, meditating now in the middle of that bridge, with stars in the sky and limitless possibility and no expectations. The 25 of the Garden of Venus, with rest and renewal, and that self-satisfaction of skywriting and synchronicities and the fates. Of the K and the M, of the Taurus and the Orion, and the M, is that a W, and is that Cassiopeia, or is the M? of the Mother Mary and the mountain goat. It's coming up as Taurus, and then the mountain goat climbing up the hill, the king of the hill. At the finish line, connected forever, sent inside forever, getting your wish, the 241 of the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups, of the 8 of the dance and manifestation of dreams in the crown games. So not only crowning from the top of your head, but crowning below as well. And the right use of power, removing the ego, and your hat. Be strong. At the bottom is 18 cards, with the farther gate, 55, with the truth, and at the top, the will-o'-the-wisp of the 52, the Queen of Swords, and 244 of the High Priestess, and the grounding, integrating, and mastering of receiving love, or that Atlas energy of the social worker. Hats off to you, of treasures hidden in the shadows, with the 9 dances on one foot, the Hermit, the balancing act, and the moth to the flame of the 11 of justice and truth, and the deep quiet and meditation and stillness, aligning with a procedure perhaps, and the 47 of the sky bridge and the possibility for union, the sun building the bridge here, and the root girl, the disowned self of the 46, touched by 9/11 magic, and baby Aries after coming through the bridge. It's time for tidying up, clarity and organization at home, and the 44 is the perfect storm, the raven peacock, and courage to step into life. The 17 of the dream and the eye of the needle, the intentionality and the squinting of the eye to see the dreams with very channeled vision. The 23 of the King of Wands and Fortune's wheel with luck and right timing. And the 15, and nothing like a little dust of the shadow kicked up to move out of stagnation. 51, King of Swords, to get things going. The 31 of chaos, of light in the hand, where the universe is your partner, alchemizing the light and dark into love. The 59 of the inner war and the wailing tree and reconciliations. And then the 50 of the ultimate emotional happiness, the spirit of the river and movement towards adventure, with lots of emotion and open heart. Where the 63 is that suffering of the winter's dream and hibernation, the gestation period of the 9-month pregnancy, and then the 45 of purging to repair the veil with forgiveness. And the Knight of Swords, the stranger, curious about dipping his toe into the deep emotions, but still unsure. The 6 of the lover's cosmic womb of the divine feminine, and the 55 of the farther gate, the 2 gates and the 2 suns, the truth of opening one before the other, and the truth of feeling imprisoned. So that was that one. So now I'm going to go back to the 7 read on the table, which isn't a long one today, because those were very long. Let's go back here now. I watched the movie My Daughter's Killer, too. That was kind of interesting. That was more of a documentary, but... All right, so the 7-card read here. So, it is here, I believe. Yes. Okay, so here's the read on the table. Let's make it a little bit better. There we go. So there's the 7-deck read on the table. So you can see all the cards. And this was cut and dealt at 6:36. And that is the Lovers and the Atlas energy, the 10 of Wands. And then at 6:59, T of Crystals came up, as well as Y stalls. So it's kind of like that Y in the road stalls. Perhaps, not being able to make decisions. But the T of Crystals is also a timeout, a toggling up. I'm just getting a feel goal now, too, of crystals, which is being like Christ or cry stalls, purging. At 7:13, I finished the clarifiers, which is the Chariot and the Death, or transition of the 13, with Justice, the Hanging Man and Tower, And before the reed was the solar deed, or the sun, and the wheel, fortune. And after the reed was the reflection, or the hermit. There were 3 swords, 2 wands, 2 pentacles, and 1 cup. As far as the court cards, we had the Knight of Pentacles was the star of the show. And before the reed was the Knight of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. After the reed, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Cups. There were double 3s. That was the only number that was doubled. The other significant numbers were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, made in heaven, and the number 9, which is the hermit, and compassion, endings. So the 33 is the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself. The 23 is the King of Wands. The 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And 910, begin again. Every time you expand and leave, come back to center again in the present moment. The code line was all about synchronicity. And the number 12, or 15 actually, coming from 9 and 3, or 9, 3, and 3. And first, MST was coming up, if that means something different to you than it would normally mean. And the messages were coming up like this. The city of water, or under the influence. Dangerous liaisons I was just getting. The madman. The one who's unfriendly. Contract, or no longer a good fit. Reflecting kisses and hugs. The 9 of the hermit, and the flash of light or lightning to the nth degree. Regarding resentment, separation, and heartbreak. A mass union or mass suspension of enemy or liver mass. The 9 flashes of light, or doctor with laser, or STD, shave, or abundant in to stay at during separation, expanding, contracting, or reflecting in the middle, with kisses and hugs, or X-ray versus surgery. And synchronicities 1-to-1, or Ronicity. So, and L. Ron Hubbard always comes up when that comes up for me. Or perhaps syncing with Irony City, or Ironic City. The mother says, like Simon says, mother says to the nth degree, water, 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 jump, leap, don't forget, no drinking, it's dangerous. They're a group of bad influences on you. The hermit shaves for the empress to possess the flop house, right? This could be getting a property, but I don't know if it's worth much if it's being coming up as a flop house. The hermit shaves for the empress to possess the flop house in separation, expanding and contracting, or to flip with kisses and hugs and ironic synchronicities, or iron sinks. Or syncing 1-to-1, Ron, inner child, with gratitude here. Or ICTY, if that means something to you. Mount St. Tongue also came up in Seattle. Or Meo Se Tongue, a mass gathering of the foe. The hermit with epiphany to the nth degree regarding the flop house, or the inn at the river, to own perhaps, with abundant thought, maybe disappointed, or reflecting kisses and hugs. Or perhaps X marking the spot. Or reflecting the X's humanity and synchronicity. Sync-ron, or Iron, inner child, and I thank you. So Mount St. Tongue and holding tongue. The 4 of Swords starts out the reed and the underlying energies here. So over here, right, so the bottom of the deck over here with the little cards on top is the underlying energy, and that's the 4 of Swords. And beneath that is the Knight of Swords reversed, the King of Pentacles reversed, solar deity, the Sun upright, Queen of Cups upright, and the Wheel, Fortune upright. The Knight of Swords is holding their tongue, perhaps with no message. The King of Pentacles reversed is exposed, and the Queen of Cups is destined to take a rest or break or 5D connect, with Twin Flame on break, or Queen of Cups at a distance and defenseless to the Knight of Cups reversed, who may be out in the cold, with the King of Cups reversed. Justice of a payoff or big offer to Libra, or in a divorce from the Page of Cups. Perhaps a sweet child, a pup, or puppy love, after a sudden event or bliss, and now that the worst is over. At 8:07 is the Page of Cups, covered up at the water, avoiding too much bliss, or message of love after sudden event that was blissful or made all worthwhile. A weak foundation, but a little love caused the tower to fall, or the Page of Cups did an oopsie, a near disaster, perhaps Scorpio, at 8:10, which is the dance of dreams and the Wheel of Fortune. With Leo, Libra, and Pisces upright here, Scorpio reversed, the devil is out, peeking in, and the Knight of Pentacles, the hospital perhaps, or is being hospitable, making an offer to the devil, or a Capricorn without peace and a divorce, or no sex and tempted. With wedding, and beneath it deception, after sudden jealous rage, that's no shock or surprise, a big love offer rendering them weak, refusing to wake up and forced to keep quiet, or someone being silenced. Or after Scorpio freaked out because there was no dinner, again, no surprises, an offer of love needing courage, or sick and can't get out of bed and silenced, not allowed to speak, or handicapped, or passed out drunk, perhaps roofied and weak, unable to defend oneself after refused to drink. Physical activity comes up at 67, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And this came up in the movie last night too. It made me so upset. It was like a boy, was out with his friends out in the country all day, and he'd been told not to get dirty because they were supposed to have a nice dinner when they got home. And he came home after being abused, and these older kids, ran him off the road and literally threw him and his bike into the river. And his parents didn't believe him. They thought he was making up stories again, and they just laughed at him. And it made me so upset. The physical activity of the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, and forgiveness of the King of Wands reversed, abusive or sick at 8:24, which is the 8 of the dance and the manifestation of dreams. And then the altar. The Atlas destined to the Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So we got fire and earth there, with Justice, Divorce, Libra, and the Sovereign Star, or Sovereign may be an independent child, but they're coming up between Libra and Aquarius, or Justice and Dreams of Stardom, or redoing the steps or exposed beams. Blind Justice of Christmas in July and dreams coming true, it can happen to you. Healed and dreams come true, or literally dreaming big of bliss or spontaneous orgasm without a lover, or silencing another about it. With physical activity in the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or boyfriend stuck in the kids' room, or snuck into the kids' room, right? So the boyfriend snuck in their window to sleep over, something like that. The King of Wands reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Sovereign upright, or two parents and their kids. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed may have left the Queen of Wands mother, or snuck out to go to the King of Wands reversed father's house, and or vice versa. The Two of Cups connection of the King of Cups, water energy, needing the truth about a ghost or theft or ghosting, and the Two of Wands twin flames with good news, exposed or about vacation, or exposing no peace in a losing battle, post-war, of working till all hours, and then awakened by the Page of Pentacles reversed, and or missed opportunity to manifest big with or without X from home or union, or Gemini upright or reversed and can't win, or Magician broke up and now home again at 8:39, which is the dance and the 39 of the Knight of Cups. At 8:40, the dance of the Page of Cups, that innocent love, is the recent past of the hanging man, awake dumping emotional attachments to dependent or their own powerlessness, announcing a wake-up call and coming out, starting over again, presenting the truth to the Knight of Wands reversed, sharing and making an offer to the Knight of Cups sunshine, and or to make self happy. The Queen of Wands reversed, Star or Aquarius, healing the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Wands reversed had a dream to be with the Queen of Pentacles, dropping the act to be present. The foundation is the Nine of Wands wounded warrior, or the King of Wands reversed, it could be, home with the Queen of Wands reversed, over loss, regret, and moving on, or running roughshod over the Queen of Wands reversed. The central energy of divine justice and the Page of Swords message, or Libra, holding on to the King of Pentacles reversed, while the Page of Cups upright, water energy and loving sweet energy, is offering that love and falling for the King of Cups reversed, Scorpio, or coming clean, or cleaning up their act, or that King of Cups energy is saying you're cleaning up their act and you fell for their act, that actually they fell off the wagon again. The Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands may be settling out, or maybe all the money she was given, she has been giving to the King of Cups reversed. At 8:51 is the dance of the King of Swords, and the challenge being the Three of Swords of separation. The weak Emperor offering love to destined third party through work, with Justice, Libra, and or divorce. The Star, the healer or the dreamer, or third party in need of a stretch, or in need of strength. And both of them here could be seen as, people judging them as being sick. The High Priestess reverse, secret passion. The Hermit reverse, coming out and disconnect or at a distance. With the Devil, castrated, marking their territory. Or man with two lovers, letting go of one or both. And that could be children they love as well. Maybe they coddle them too much or spoil them. The Six of Cups, soul ties, missing patient angel, or disappointed with the King of Pentacles reversed, Capricorn. Or the Devil between the King of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who could be a father and child, or they could be siblings, or both earth signs, offering help to the Ten of Cups upright family, being called out or in a wake-up call. And now is the Six of Pentacles, the lovers sharing or settling out in the cold, or one is sharing and the other is not and in need of peace, and feeling depleted after sudden event. The Three of Pentacles reversed, issues at work with the Queen of Cups, or the Queen of Cups leaving, clarity of frustration and receiving a love offer from blissful divine feminine in 5D, and Pisces reversed, or offering love now that the worst is over, settling out at work with the Queen of Cups upright and the Emperor upright, in separation or heartbreak, defenseless to unwanted advances, suffering in silence, the Queen of Swords reversed, post-war or post-virus. At present, the worst is over for dependent or powerlessness in a divorce, in a break from work or religion, or a narcissistic Taurus or society. And the King of Pentacles reversed, Devil, and Capricorn, Knight of Pentacles upright, helping the Ten of Cups, or proposing happiness. And soon is the Tower reversed after a sudden event, walking away from the Page of Pentacles reversed, who's had enough, and now going to spend on themselves and reap rewards, moving on with good news to Patient Angel post-battle with Wounded Warrior, King of Wands reversed, in disconnect or at a distance, or in a breakup with the Queen of Cups, or Scorpio ending conflict with Sagittarius, Wounded Warrior, who could be the King of Wands reversed. Could be a separate person as well. The Twin Flames are seeing themselves as the Seven of Swords reversed, with no downloads or no passing of information, with Atlas working hard, the POW, separation, heartbreak, and dropping the act, dropping the ball or patterns, and the Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue, with the Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Swords upright, with Taurus in their chart, and the Ten of Cups family bridging with the Emperor upright here at 9:24, which is a Hermit and the Queen of Wands. Or that could be a Queen of Wands with Virgo in their chart, or Virgo with fire in their chart. So flirt and soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate comes up for the twins, as well as give your relationship a chance. And then it is safe to love, and true love. Yes, this is the romance of a lifetime. Coming clean, cleaning up the act. The Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords may be divorcing, or both alternative, and bridging with the Emperor. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Three of Wands, being present to the flame. Deception or up early, as the Page of Swords is stepping up to the plate, getting the word out, with the Empress and the Magician upright, triumphing, winning at all cost, or a grandchild getting everything from the Empress and no one else. The block here is the Five of Cups reversed, getting over it. The third party secret passion, awake and aware. Synchronicities, but even more so, love partnership and individuality. Dead tired of a wake-up call, or getting up early, or never-ending calls or announcements. And the Knight of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles reversed, with Taurus reversed, and the Capricorn, or codependent on the Ten of Cups family. And now how they are judging them. The Knight of Pentacles may have spent a lot to make an offer or propose and is working to align to get their ducks in a row. The Knight of Pentacles, which is that earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, to the Queen of Wands, fire energy, reversed, dropping the act, refusing to surrender or reflect, or coming out to the King of Cups reversed, now that the worst is over, with the Six of Cups upright, or now the Knight of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Wands reversed is offering help. Now that the worst is over, the King of Cups reversed is in the bliss state. At the beach or on break at 9:36, the Hermit and Atlas with rest, meditation, and retreat. In bliss, the Wounded Warrior without 5D messages and flame present, and the Hanging Man awake to divine justice, challenged by separation after sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange, and over it, settling out, with the Knight of Pentacles offered to the Queen of Wands reversed, refusing to surrender, over isolating with the King of Cups reversed, where misery loves company, and soulmates together, the Knight of Swords and the King of Pentacles both reversed, perhaps Gemini reversed and Taurus reversed on vacation, with the Queen of Cups Libra or destined to rest in bliss, awake and healed, or healer in dreams come true, the Wounded Warrior divorced or Libra and challenged by separation or heartbreak, and sharing or settling out, holding back messages, information, to clean up after a sudden event, present to flame, recovering from loss and or regret, with the Knight of Pentacles proposing to the Queen of Wands reversed to perhaps break patterns and come out, with the King of Cups reversed now that the worst is over at 9:45, the Hermit and the 45 of some kind of grief or loss or regret. All right, so that was really long, so I'm going to just do one quick energy card and let you go. What is our takeaway from all this? Under the wire. What is our takeaway from all this? And it's 7:18 on the clock. It just turned 19, which is today's date, July 19th. What is our message? Came right up. Balance. Walk away and within when needed. You got the pyramids there too. The angel of balance. And there's another walking away. This is the walking away within, right? To just kind of go to your own space. And this is someone who's literally walking away from a situation completely. Someone's inspired to walk away. And they're both feminine energies. It doesn't have to be, but it's very feminine in these two cards. And then we have the man holding a heart. Okay, so he may be grieving or regretting something, but connecting with his heart, which is good. And then here's that ultimate energy of the mother, the family, the Lion's Gate energy of the angel of strength. And we have the angel of balance as well. So there's definitely family energy here. So however the family works, and there may be a decision that needs to be made. These could be children and parents, or they could all be siblings, you know, it could be any kind of arrangement of family, but that's what's coming up here. The family. And at the bottom of it is that Page of Cups energy, to get your wish of being self-satisfied when you live in your heart and take the mask off, let go of attachments, and let go of attachments and stop resisting, right? So those are the two difficult things to do. And again, the indecision regarding this family energy. And it's all about the root wounded warrior issues, the victim mentality of walking away from that, the Atlas energy of being able to carry the weight of the world, but leaving the wounded warrior victim behind, and everybody dealing with it in their own way, kind of thing. Okay, and I'm sweating, so there's a lot of masculine energy here. I hope that was helpful, and thank you for being here with me. Remember your water, right, to feel hydrated, to connect to your abilities, and your rest, your joy, your nature, and to follow your own intuition, guys. All right, so rise and be love, love and rise. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to breathe. Breathe. I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.